Hello students and welcome to week 5. We have passed the quarter mark of the semester, so congratulations. We're 1/4 of the way through. Alright, so this week, week 5, go ahead and click into that area there and you'll see that this week we'll be reading chapter 7 in the text, and that is about reading to learn from college textbooks. A lot of good strategies and tools to help you get and retain as much as you can from college textbooks. So I think you'll enjoy this chapter. First activity for the week will be to reflect on last week's activities. And that's the week 5 discussion, reflect on note taking. And we want to do this quickly and get this out of the way. So the due date for this week 5 discussions, reflect on note taking, will be tomorrow at midnight. That's Tuesday at midnight. All right. Then, next up, I'd like you to read the chapter 7, and take the quiz by Wednesday at midnight. Then, on to our activity for the week. What we're going to be doing, okay, 2 activities. Before I get into this week's textbook-related activity, I'll point out that we do have our first quote-unquote comprehension quiz for the last enchantments. It covers pages 1 through 69. You should have those read by now. This last enchantments quiz will stay open until Sunday at midnight, so you've got all week to get it done. So take that quiz. You've got 2 attempts. After I grade them, your highest grade will be kept. And you'll notice back up at the top here, this week I want you to continue reading the last enchantments, pages 70 through 160, and we'll have a quiz next week over that section of the test. All right, so this week's activity, we're going to build a concept map. Hopefully based on, you're going to map a chapter from hopefully a textbook in one of your other classes. It's a study guide. It's a little bit of a time-consuming study activity, but it's, me personally, it's a creative way to digest and synthesize and comprehend material. And when I was a junior high teacher, it was one of the teaching tools that I used, and it was something that the students could a lot of students got more out of it, I think, than from outlining like we did last week, because it's very visual. It's kind of a kinesthetic. You can get more creative, and all of these things, when you're building a concept map, you actually have to create a good concept map. It compels you to spend time and understand the materials. So I really do believe in it as a study tool. So to get started, now there's a section in your textbook about concept mapping, and I've got a link up here called 24 Essential Mind Mapping and Brainstorming Tools, and you can use that link, and there are free softwares under this link. There's other things to choose from, because you'll need a software to build your concept map. I will kind of steer you towards, but you do not have to use this software here, which is called CMAP. And inside this folder, I've got some tutorials, and they're a few semesters old, but I still think they can get you started with the tool if you want to use CMAP. But feel free to use that other link in the class to explore other tools. You might find something you like better. I use a tool called Inspiration, and I'll show you some of that here in a minute. But Inspiration, it's got a 30-day trial, but after that it's a paid software. But CMAP is free. And so the first thing you'll do is click the Download CMAP Tools link there, and it will bring you to this page. And you click the downloads there, and you'll want to download this right here, the CMAP Tools. And you click that download link, and that takes you to this next page here. And it tells you can donate, but you don't have to. What you do need to do is fill in this form here with your name and an email address. And if you don't want them to have your email address information. You can put a bogus email address in there. You can fill this out with bogus information. It doesn't really matter. But fill this out, and once you fill this out, these links over here will become active, and based on your operating system, you click the link and you'll get a download for the software, and you install it on your computer, and then you can use it. And there's some other tutorials here about installing and using and saving your CMAP to submit as a PDF, which is how I'll ask you to submit it come Sunday. All right, so just to prove to you that I'm not giving you some type of busy nonsense work, I want to point out to you that I still use concept maps very, very regularly in my professional life. I used them in job interviews when I was taking like a project or something that I had worked on, and I wanted to demonstrate it and illustrate it to the hiring committee. I used inspiration generated concept maps to kind of show my projects, and hiring committees were always really impressed with that. It's a great visual. So I'm going to pull some up here that I use at work currently, and then I'll show you some student examples from last semester using CMAP, all right? So first up here, and I think I've got it better, let's do this here. So here's a concept map of that it was created by my department, Distance Learning, and it's a communication tool to departments across campus concerning regular and substantive interaction in online classes. And this is a big issue with the federal government and our accrediting agencies. And so what I've done on this concept map here is I've used illustrations to demonstrate the concepts. And you'll see here this is a faculty member, and these here are the types of interactions that they can initiate within Blackboard. And this one here is the most important, substantive instructor feedback. And so there branches out and gives some examples of different substantive instructor feedback that instructors can use in online courses. And then if I zoom out a little bit, and you may not be able to read this, but that's fine. What we've given here are, we've got 4 kind of course models here that kind of describes the activities in an online course. And then in the syllabus, this is a new kind of syllabus, part of the syllabus that Distance Learning is proposing be added. We've given this course interaction part of the syllabus, we've given examples of how that would read based on each of these 4 course models. So we've taken some pretty complicated concepts, and we've created this concept map as a communication tool. So that's one example. Some others are, let's see here. This was a concept map when I was mapping. This is my department here, Distance Learning. These are the 3 offices within my department. These are all of our projects or activities on any given semester. And basically, how do what we do as a department, how do they line up with the operating cash of the institution? So this was kind of an exercise where it's like, how does what we do affect and increase the operating cash of the institution? So that was kind of a great exercise there. And this was more for me than anything else. It was more of a, I need to get things straight in my head. And then, this concept map here was very beneficial to me in creating it. Let's move on to, this is some more work concept maps when I was kind of researching intellectual property at institutions. And so I looked at a few institutions and I kind of concept mapped out how they handle intellectual property in their online courses at their institutions. So I still use it at work. It's a very valuable tool, so I'm not just giving you guys busy work. Even if you don't like it as a study tool, keep in mind in your professional lives in the future, you may find it beneficial. So here, let me show you some student concept maps. All right, this is a student concept map about taking effective notes, and it was created in CMAP. See the central idea there, and it branches out to the supporting ideas, and this person correctly used connecting terms to each of the each of the items. And another one, same kind of thing here. This is some physics. This is a physics concept map. And another one here. This looks like cardiovascular health, and this student used a lot more of the formatting tools, the dashed lines, the different colors. Kind of helps you to visualize the different branches of the concept map. And let's look at, this is a dramatic genres, right? Different branches, connecting words, not so much formatting, but still a lot of content there, so that's real good. And the last one, this is chapter 2, the derivative, whatever that is, right? But I can oh, this looks like some math here. This looks like some calculus, right? Let's look at that. Concept map for calculus. Impressive, yes? Okay. So I want you to get started on your concept maps as early as you can because they are time consuming. All right, so don't put this off until the last minute. Get the software, download it to your computer, get it installed, make sure you've got no issues with that. Do that early this week. And then you can plan your time accordingly to get this concept map completed, saved, and uploaded by Sunday at midnight. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll get back to you soon about our activities, note-taking activities from last week. Thanks for watching.